to the 90-Day Fiancé Fridays crew. Shabooty, George, and Coco.
Welcome, everybody, to 90-Day Fiancé Fridays on a Sunday.
Welcome, everybody. Hello.
Welcome, welcome.
True. How did you like tonight's episode?
It was good. I was entertained. I'm not complaining. We didn't get any Juan and Jessica, but we got everybody else. So it was a solid episode. If I had to give it
Tom Cruise?
What?
Was it a Tom Cruise episode?
No, it wasn't a Tom Cruise episode, but it was definitely a supporting actress episode. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. If I had to give it a score from 1 to 10, it was a 7.
Yeah, same. I was thinking exactly the same thing.
I must confess, I like watching Greg for some reason.
Oh well, yeah. No boy, the poppin' fresh.
I really like watching Greg, mostly because when I watch him, I look at my accomplishments and like he makes me look like the most successful person on the planet. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoy watching his underachieved life and then using it as inspiration for all of the things that I've accomplished and conquered while he was sleeping on his couch.
I mean, compared to him, we're all Elon Musk, but yeah.
Well, yeah, we basically have created solar energy compared to him. Like we're space travelers compared to this guy. Like he's literally done nothing his entire life, and he's like about to be 40. Like, so yeah, I love watching him because he's got. I think what was fun tonight was he was like, I want to have like a whole bunch of kids, and I was like, and what would you do with them? Because you don't have a house, you don't have a job, you don't do anything. I was like, I'm really confused by him. He's that guy. I think I told y'all there's a guy that I went to high school with, that he was like an overachiever and he thought that he was going to be like the president. And I recently found out he got married like within the last couple of years, and his wife and him, they live with his parents. He never left. And like he got married and he moved his wife in, and I was like, well, what does he do for work? And they're like, oh, he works in, I don't remember what he did. It wasn't interesting or anything, but I was just like, he reminds me of that guy. And it's funny because his friend John, one of the Johns, said that he was really popular in school and he won prom king. But then he was like, I don't know if it was a joke or not. And then I was like, it probably was a joke, because remember the Carrie movie, and they have people win as a joke so they can make fun of you. It probably was a joke, right?
Yeah, real quick, I was gonna say, compared to him, we've already colonized Mars.
Well, yeah, there's like a whole society up there now that we started. Like he literally. Oh, and then tonight I found out that he owes her family 15 cows.
Oh yeah. So
15 cows.
What's the MSRP though on 15 cows?
Yeah, so Gina, that was my next question, because I was on my podcast earlier and I was like, does anyone know the going rate on a cow? And no one did, obviously, because we don't buy cows here. So like, Gina, can you get us like a MSRP on a cow? Like what do they run? Because he needs 15 of them. And that's not even the whole dowry, by the way. That's just part of it.
What country is she from again?
Oh, she's from Uganda. So what's the MSRP on a Ugandan cow? I'm just curious, because the family wants 15 of them, not like 1 or 2. But my thing was, wouldn't you just ask for 1 male, 1 female, and then they would just mate and make more? Like, why do you need so many?
I wonder if like Chat GPT knows what a cow goes for in that country.
Says an Ankoli cow, which is I think what they have there, goes for approximately $1,000.
US dollars?
Yeah.
So $15,000 worth of cows. That's like
that sounds a lot.
That does. That's like a 10-year-old Honda Civic. Like that's a lot of money for a guy who has no job. That's like $15,000 for a guy who has no job and has no interest in having a job. It might as well be 15 million. It's a outrageous number that he's never going to be able to accomplish.
Yeah, for a guy that wants her to get a $500 wedding dress.
Yeah, $500 wedding dress. Yeah, and I'm counting down until she leaves him. I'm assuming she's smart enough to know that when she gets the green card in the mail, she'll hit the ground running and she'll run. Kind of like Biniam. When Biniam knew that he didn't have to be linked to Ariella anymore, he was out the door. So I'm assuming that she's waiting until she gets everything that she needs so she can move on with her life. And I want nothing more than for her to move on with her life. She's too smart. She's too educated. She's too pretty to be with this dude.
Yeah, she's already doing like ultimatums and shit on the
I
previews.
mean, she she was under the impression that she said tonight, she's like, I thought we were gonna stay here for a few months until he got his shit together. But it seems as though, because we talked to the Johns tonight, his friends, and they said that he's been an underachiever his whole life. He's had many opportunities to take good jobs and to build a career and to get his own stuff, but they said that he actively refuses to get jobs because he doesn't like any idea other than running his own bakery.
What did you think of the friends? Did they give a good impression or a bad impression, or did they look like burnouts like Greg?
No, I like them only because they were real friends. Like when I'm on the phone with my bestie and I tell her something that I'm doing and I'm doing something stupid, she's like, "Oh man, that's really stupid. You shouldn't do that." And I felt like they were like legit friends. They were like, "You should get a job. You should move out of your mom's house. You should be a man about it. You should stop playing games." Like those are real friends. I thought that they looked weird, but I
Mhm.
don't care how my friends look as long as they're real with me.
Yeah, I mean they did. I think Captain Picard said, I forget what she said about one of the guys. Like he looks like a hobbit or some shit. I forget her words.
Yeah, they looked weird, but I don't judge. My friends come in all shapes and sizes. If you're a real decent human being, I don't care what you look like as long as you don't tell me to do something stupid.
But one of them did kind of tell it. If you were with your girl and you wanted to impress her, then she's meeting your friends for the first time. But then one of them told that dumbass story like, "Hey, we went." I didn't really understand it very well, but it was like we stuck like forks in the lawn. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah, we went lawn forking and they were like, this is what we do here. And I had to Google it because I didn't understand. I'm from the South, but this is New Jersey, where you just stick forks in people's lawns, like hundreds of forks. And then when they wake up the next morning, there's just random plastic forks in the lawn. I don't understand the
Mhm.
pu-
Is,
the
is it
pun.
kind of like toilet papering a house, but with
I'm
forks?
assuming, yeah, it's like a prank.
Mhm.
But toilet papering is much easier than some placing, because you have to actually push the fork into the ground. So it's a process. It takes much longer. So I'm assuming that these people had much, much more free time on their hands than I did growing up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do research on that prank.
I mean, I'm from Louisiana and we used to cow tip.
hmm
So I'm not judging people in the things that they did. Like we would go and push over people's cows for fun. Guys, don't judge me. I feel bad about it now. I'm actually an animal lover. Now that I'm an adult, I wish I didn't do it, but we did. Because cows sleep standing up. So you go and you push them and they fall over. It wasn't okay, but I was actually a teenager, so don't judge me.
So you did do that with your buddies once?
I did. Yeah, I did. And I want to say that it was their next door neighbor's cows. So
Mhm.
we immediately got in trouble the next day because they automatically knew it was us.
Yeah, so not to be ignorant. Okay, so when you cow tip and you tip them over, then what happens after that?
They just fall over and start screaming.
Oh.
And the bad part about it is cows can't really stand up once they're on their side. So we were like hurting them. But I didn't know that at the time. Okay. So like as a teenager, I thought it was just funny. But like then the owner has to go up and get them up on their feet. They can't really like stand up once they're on their side. Like
Mhm.
they can stand up and down when they're upright, but not on their side or whatever. So they have to go help them get up.
True. Yeah, that's definitely a
It
down
was
thing.
awful. Yeah, it was a horrible thing, and I feel bad. But I was from the deep south, and this was like we didn't have much going on down there, guys. Like we didn't have a lot going on. I was from Louisiana, so kind of like where Mahdi is with Stevie. There wasn't a whole lot going on down there.
True. Should we talk about Mahdi and his fucked up mustache?
Yeah, so I didn't notice what was wrong with it at first because when he got in the car and he moved his hand, I was like, what's wrong with it? And then I mean they showed the before and after, and then I realized it. I was like, oh yeah, it does look a little weird. I felt like he overreacted, like putting on makeup to like make it look like it was still there. That was such an overreaction. But at the same time, I'm not a mustache person. I've shaved my mustache. I started growing a mustache at 12 years old, and I've shaved it my whole life. So I've never understood why people wanted mustaches. I actually hated
Mhm.
them. So I never have been like a mustache connoisseur. So I didn't understand it.
Yeah, I feel like he way overreacted, and then when they did the magic marker, it looked stupid too.
It looked ridiculous. I was like, this is crazy. But I put out the tweet. I was like, are you guys ready for Mahdi to overreact to some normal American thing that bothers him like hell? And that's literally what he did. That's kind of like his recurring theme. Some normal American cultural act that we do every day, he is super bothered by. Like say every episode is the same thing over and over.
Yeah, every episode he's very easily bothered by everything.
Yeah, everything that's not Iranian culture is like torture for him. And then again, I'm just like, so why are you here? You know, like if Iran is amazing and it's the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to your life and you can't live without it, why are you here? You know, like because we do stuff so weird here. Like if you come from another country, I've spoken to so many people that are immigrants and came from other countries. This is the most craziest country you will go to because there's literally no method to any of our madness. There's no cultures here. Like we have different cultures, but nobody really sticks to one thing. We explore all of them. So it's like you're never going to get that cultural feeling and vibe that you get from a country that is so in touch with their roots because we don't really have that here.
Yeah, sorry. He came across like super vain during that scene.
Yeah, he did. Because he was like, well, we can't go now. We have to go fix this. I'm not going anywhere. And it definitely made him look really arrogant and kind of pushy and kind of controlling. Because I was like, do you think that her friends meeting you for the first time are going to be worried about your mustache? Like, do you really think that that's what people are going to be thinking about when she's trying to marry a guy from Iran? I was like, that's literally the last thing that'll be going through their head.
Yeah, he just came across very superficial and shallow and someone,
Ignorant.
huh?
Ignorant.
Yeah, ignorant. Yeah, like ignorant and self-consumed.
Conceitive.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he didn't come across very well in that scene.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that guy. Just to be honest, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of their story in general. They're kind of boring for me. But yeah, he irritates me.
Yeah, like I'm trying to be a fan. Like because well, there's certain cast members where they're like whether they're bad, they may be bad on the show, but they're good on social media, or they're good on, I forget which one I said first, but they, you know what I mean? Like they're either like bad on the show, good on social media, or good on the show and bad on social media. But he's like one of those that's like, oh, I hate to say this, like, and I hope he's not listening, but almost like bad on both.
Oh yeah, he's worse on social media. He's like a little sensitive, sad puppy who's all sad and he doesn't like anyone saying anything mean about him or Stevie or Iran or the
He's
weather.
a
Like
snowflake.
yes, he's like one of those what do you call it? Negative Nancy's, right?
Mm,
No matter what you do, you're offending him. Like you wake up in the morning and you say something like, that's offensive to the people in Iran. You shouldn't do like I can't with him. I just can't.
true. By the way, I got distracted because Uncle Marco texted me and he says again he's like a way older gentleman and he texted me, he says air, I don't know, but have a great day. So anyway,
Wait,
I don't know if
what was the first word?
air,
Air, like that you breathe, or era?
ERROR.
Oh, era. Okay. What was the era?
I don't know, but
Okay.
maybe we save him for like a Friday or something where we figure that out. Anyway, sorry, let's get back to today's episode. Um, Okay, oh, and then we got to talk about Jordan's. We figured out what Jordan's dude is like pseudo famous, right?
Yeah, so I was on my podcast and somebody mentioned that I should look into her boyfriend, husband. I don't know if they're married, but Caleb.
They're married.
They're married. Okay, so this guy Caleb, and because the message that I got from it was the person was like, she's not really worried about the money like people think because she's with the NFL player. And I was like, go on. And then so upon further investigation, our producer Gina has pulled up some information for me. And apparently Gabe, did I call him Caleb before? His name is Gabe. So Gabe, who was featured on the episode last week and this week, is a former former professional football player who was a fullback for the Los Angeles Chargers for one season. The 2020 to 2021 season, which I don't even know if that was a legit season, because isn't that the year COVID happened? So I don't know if he actually played. Were they playing football during COVID? I'm confused now.
No.
So maybe he was a bench player that season. But in 2022, he was waived by the Chargers. And Shabooty, waived means not re-signed, right?
Yeah, and then, but if we should be able to easily pull up his stats for his NFL career.
Oh, yeah. And in his personal life, he has a nephew named Malik who played professional football for LSU and then was drafted by the New York Giants. So there's
No, I'm
more.
actually, you know, it's crazy. I'm actually familiar with him, so he's good.
You are familiar with him?
Not with the Jordan guy, but with the
But Malik
Neighbors.
Neighbors?
Malik Neighbors is legit. He's like legit.
Okay, so there's two. Yeah, so that's interesting. So there's two professional football players. One still playing now with the New York Giants, but he did play. Oh wait, it says right here he has rushing yards 15, rushing averages 3, receptions 8, receiving yards 42, receiving touchdowns 2. So those are all his stats. So he didn't really play much.
Did it say the total yards for the whole season? Or?
No.
Okay.
No. Wait, he finished his collegiate career with 19 receptions, 269 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Okay, but what about his NFL career?
Whoa.
He seems like a scrub, but Malik Neighbors is legit.
Yeah, it doesn't give me like that total the way they did for him.
Mm-hmm.
It says here on ESPN website, whatever CAR is, 3.
It carries.
Okay. I think this is yards, YDS, 8. Touchdowns, 0. Average, 2.7.
Okay, yeah, he was kind of I don't want to shit on him, but he didn't have a spectacular NFL career.
All right. So what people really care about, I'm just going to throw it out there for y'all. In 2020 to 2022, Gabe Neighbors was signed to a 2-year deal for $1.39 million. And the contract with the Chargers, including an annual salary of $700K. So he did not play the full 2 years, obviously. He only played one season. So, Shabooty, how does that work? How much did he get? Because if it's a 2-year contract for 1.3 and he only played a year, do you get the half of that? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I think because I think the NFL doesn't really like guarantee money, but he probably just got paid for that 1 year, the 700.
So the 695,000.
Yeah.
The annual salary. Yeah. So he signed a $1.3 million contract, which for a new player in the NFL, that's decent, right? I'm pretty sure that's decent.
Yeah, well, hold on. I could start Googling some stuff too, but I'm curious now what the NFL minimum is, the minimum salary.
I heard that some players back in the day, like Aaron Hernandez, got like 500 and something thousand to start.
795K.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
he got the minimum, right?
yeah, he had 695, so he probably got the minimum back then.
Yes, this was 2024 averages.
Yeah, so
we got
2020.
2020? Okay, hold on.
He started in 2020 and he started at 695 annual salary with a 1.39 mil contract for 2 years.
So in 2020, 610 for rookies and 750 for veterans.
Oh, so he was in the middle. So I don't know if it's necessary to say that this guy is rich and Jordan isn't worried about money, because he didn't play in the NFL for very long. So I don't think that that's actually, the thing that she's married to a millionaire. He never made any millions in the NFL.
Yeah, he's not impressive, but again, not to start meat riding Malik Neighbors, but Malik Neighbors is legit. We should look him up though.
Well, it says he went to LSU, and I'm from Baton Rouge, so I was like, oh, he went to LSU. When I lived down there, LSU was where you needed to end up if you wanted to do anything and get out of Louisiana. You needed to be at LSU. So I know only the best come out of LSU.
Yeah, hold on. How do you spell Nabers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so here's the deal. See, this is what y'all are gonna get impressed by. That's why if I sounded all excited, here, let me read some of this. Malik Neighbors, drafted by the New York Giants, was a sixth overall pick and signed a 4-year, 29.2 million rookie contract, including an 18.6 million signing bonus, fully guaranteed. That's to do with the money.
Also, it's fully guaranteed. So if he gets hurt or if they don't renew his contract, he's getting $18 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very, very impressive. So, I mean, wait, he did he play for the Buccaneers? Hold on a
No,
second.
he's like a rookie or something.
Okay, okay, I got you. So I was like, is he in Florida? Oh, okay, okay. All right.
Yeah, so Malik Neighbor, if Jordan was with Malik Neighbors, then she wouldn't be worrying about money.
She wouldn't be worried about money. Exactly. So yeah, I don't think that Jordan is with some millionaire and it's more so she wanted to be on TV than wanting the money. I think that the money in the business that she works with and started with her dad is her motive. I think that, him marrying Mina and not signing a prenup, she made it very clear she wasn't going to sign one. She would be losing a lot of money in the business that she has a lot of stake in. So I think that's what the real issue is.
Yeah, she's definitely concerned about the family business.
Well, she also said that she wants her dad to be happy, but only within the parameters that she gives him. Like he can have a wife, but she has to be his own age. And I was like, that's a weird thing to tell like your dad or any adult. Like, well, you can date, but you can only date the people that I approve of. And I fall into that category because when my mom and dad split up and my mom started dating, I was a complete dick to the guys that she dated. But I was a mama's boy and I was worried about my mom finding someone else. So I had no right to do that. And now as an adult, I know that. But as a kid, I didn't see that. But like her saying, like, oh, you should be happy just only with people I approve of. She's 27 years old. She should know that her dad, if her dad wants to marry a stripper or a hooker or whatever, he can do whatever he wants. He's a grown ass man and he can make his own decisions. Like it's crazy to think that she's under the impression that she can tell her dad how he can live his life.
And she needs to be a little forward thinking because if the dad was dating, like, let's say someone 5 or 10 years older than him, it's like when he gets older, he's going to need someone to take care of him. So the fact that he has a younger wife, it's actually she'll be able to take care of him better than an older wife.
Yeah, this is true. And well, do I think Mina would take care of him? I don't think so.
Hmm.
I think she would be gone. I'm going to be 100% honest. I think that she wouldn't stick around long enough for that. I think that they're not going to stay together that long. I think her having a bunch of kids really fast because she's like, oh, I want to have another kid. I think she's just securing her monthly payments for when she
Hmm.
leaves him. I think that's really what it's come down to. She's 34. She looks 44. She's had a rough life on the pole. I think she is trying to guarantee her retirement and she's trying to hang that G string on the wall of fame of G strings. And she's like, if I got to push out a few more babies to get these payments that I need, I'm not going to be on that pole no more. And I think that's what she's trying to do.
No, that's a very valid point that you bring to the table, and there's no argument against it.
She looks tired, right? Like if you met her, you see somebody and they've been like really working really hard and you look at them and you're like, "Ooh, you look tired." She looks tired. And I feel like that pole has worn her out. She is worn out. She does not have it in her to be hopping on that pole no more. And I think that's why she had this baby in the first place. She found a rich white sucker in that club and she was like, I'm trying to retire. Right. And I feel like so the first baby was to set her foundation and then the second baby is for her revenue. So I think that's what she's working on. And I also think that because Jordan said tonight, she was like, you shouldn't have had a kid with her and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't think that Mark went over there with the intentions of impregnating a stripper. I think that she might have told him one of two things. I can't have kids no more. I'm on an IUD. I'm on birth control. I don't think that Mark is stupid enough to go over to another country and impregnate a stripper. Or Shabooty, what's your opinion? Do you think he did that on purpose, or you think that she probably tricked him?
Um, I don't know. Well, like, I hate to answer a question with another question, but what if he, what if he kind of was like, he's you know how like when a guy goes to a strip club and he sees a girl he's fallen just like like physically enamored by, and then he's like his fantasy is like, I want to take her out of the club, I want to take her out of the strip club, I want to retire her and she can be with me. So I'm wondering if like that kind of fantasy happened.
Oh, so the reverse trick. You think he trapped her? Like he saw the girl that he wanted,
Mm.
and he was like, "I'm gonna get her pregnant." Because I mean, that's very possible. It's so unfair that we always say a woman traps a man. Men can trap women too. That is very, very possible. So maybe you're right. Maybe he saw the prettiest girl in that club, which let's just say the bar was pretty low. The prettiest girl in the club. And he was like, I want that one. I'm going to retire her. I'm going to hang that G string up in the G string Hall
Mhm.
of Fame. And I'm going to bring her home and I'm going to take care of her. Maybe that was the intention. And maybe, for an extra $300, he didn't have to wear a condom, right? Like, I don't know the type of clubs this was. I don't know if this is like the Hong Kong strip club down in Tijuana. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure for the right price, you don't have to wear one. So like maybe he got her hooked and now she is stuck with him. And then she doesn't see it as a bad thing because she's like, well, I don't gotta dance. And he has a plane, like she's outweighing her options, and she's like, it could be much worse.
And then, and again, I hate to be ageist, but she was probably aging out as far as a stripper as well.
Oh, well, yeah, with that face, she's like a 65-year-old in the stripper world. Like, she is definitely aged out. Like, let me be realistic, right? Because she's selling to us that she's 34.
Mhm.
I'm going to go ahead and say she's 43, just to be nice. But I think in stripper years, she's like pushing 60 because this is like just like football, like in basketball, like in every profession, especially that like a stripper, a sports player, a model. There's all these age out ages when it comes to those type of careers. And strippers, I've met lots of strippers who are in their 30s and they're like, I'm getting, aged out. Like there's younger girls that get jobs and then everybody showers them with all the dollars. I don't get anything because of my age. And unfortunately, it works that way in basketball, football, in lots of different places. I think that she was aging out of the strip scene and she didn't really have a backup plan and she already had a kid. So I'm assuming that she had a kid with somebody else and that was a backup plan. And then that backup plan fell through. And I think that Mark and taking her out of the club and moving her to the US seemed like a good option for an aging out stripper, right? Like I feel like she was like, well, I'd have to get a regular job, if I aged out of the strip world. So at least if he comes to take me, I would just be a housewife. Like that's still better than her having to get a job.
Yeah, and I know we've had this discussion before, and I hate to keep harp back on it, but yeah, like in the adult film world, like a 30-year-old is considered like a cougar MILF.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Right? I've seen no, I don't want to say that I've seen it, but I've heard that there's pornos where there'll be like a 30 something year old girl and she'll have to play like somebody's mom or aunt.
Mhm.
Isn't that insane? Why is a 35-year-old girl having to play someone's mom? But you're right, they accelerate everything with the ages. So they're like, if she doesn't look like she's 19 or 20, she has to be someone's mom, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's like even if she doesn't have like kids in real life, if she's like 35, she's like a MILF.
Right. She's literally playing like the scenes will be her and she's someone's stepmom. And it's just insanity because it's like these are young women. Like if you go into a club and see a 33-year-old woman, she's hot, she's young. But in those professions that you're right, they're like that's somebody's stepmom or they're aged out and it's sexist, but it just goes with the territory. And not sexist, it's ageist. That's what you call that, ageist. It goes with the territory though. That's why I don't ever want to pick a profession where you can be aged out of it.
True, but yeah,
Well, she
so
looks
maybe it was
older than
called.
I do, and I'm going to be 42.
Wait, what do you do? Are you a stripper?
No, but she looks older than me. Mina looks
Whoa,
older than me.
wait, how old are you?
I'm going to be 42 this year.
No, you're not, liar. You're younger than that. She
No, I'm not. I
she
wish.
definitely looks older than you. Well, I said it like this. She looks like a tired stripper. Like, because you know what? We had this conversation too. Everyone says Angela looks older than her age because I think her and Sean Robinson are the same age, right? So she looks tired. she looks like she's had a really rough life, and I would kind of love to hear her tell, where she came from, because I feel like it has to have been rough. A lot of people are saying that she's not really from, where does she say she's from? Paris. A lot of people are saying that her accent is going back to a different country. Have you seen that, Gina, online? People are saying that
She's not from Paris. She immigrated to Paris, but she's likely from Angola because after my research, found someone with the same last name related to her. And guess what? They have the Angola flag, which used to be a former Portuguese colony, as their like profile picture. And I think I sent it to both you and Shabooty. I'm like, no, she ain't French. But this is very common for the French to deny anything else, any other nationality but French. It's very
That's
common.
weird, because I
Yeah.
don't like, here in America, we are very proud of our original nationality.
No, the
Like,
French
no,
are like that. The French are like that. Every time they travel outside of France, they expect everyone to know French. And it's like, no, you can kiss off.
well,
Right?
people are saying that her accent gives it away, because they were like, she doesn't sound French. She sounds like she learned French. And that's what
Exactly.
people were saying. They were like, she speaks it, but it doesn't sound like her native tongue, that you can hear another tongue underneath. And that's where people figured it out.
Oh, I figured it out long before anybody else figured it out.
Well, I had a really good friend that spoke French. And I did notice she didn't sound like her, because I was like, the way that she enunciates and pronounces, I was like, it's different, because this person that was my friend, French was their first language, and then English was their second language. And I noticed a lot of differences in the way that they enunciated words.
That's interesting that Angola is like a Portuguese colony, because I before you said that I was going to assume was a French colony.
No, the French like to colonize too, but so did the Portuguese. So, like Angola and Mozambique were both Portuguese colonies, and a lot of them have immigrated to France and to Portugal and to Germany and to wherever else. So, a lot of them have immigrated. But again, when they go back home, they always speak the language of their mother tongue.
Mm.
They're not wannabes. They don't, yeah. It's every French person that I've encountered in my travels. No offense to all the French people, but it's every single one of them.
True.
Well, Laurie said, where was Kobe from? He spoke French. Are we talking Kobe from Kobe and Emily?
Yeah,
Oh, Kobe was from Cameroon.
Cameroon is a French colony.
Yeah, he was from Cameroon, but he was very well traveled. He lived in China for a while. Kobe
Mm.
was very well traveled. A lot of people don't realize that Kobe was a very cultured person. I'm not was is. He's a very cultured person.
Mhm. Okay, who haven't we talked about yet tonight?
We Sarper and Shekinah were on tonight.
Hmm.
And we saw more of the apartment. And so one thing that Shekinah said tonight that caught my attention, she was like, I didn't realize how small my apartment was. It was big enough for me and my daughter.
Hmm.
So I have a question. I don't know. I don't work for CPS or the State Department or whatever, but like, when you have a child, can you, as a mom, because I know of as a dad, hell no, but like as a mom, is it okay for you to only have a 1-bedroom place and then you have to share a spot with your child? Because I know as a dad, that's a hell no. Because if you have a daughter, even if it doesn't matter what your child is, they can't sleep with you. They have to have their own space. But when she said that, I was confused, because I was like, is it different for women? Because I thought if you had a child, that child needed to have its own dedicated space for it to sleep.
But wasn't the child shipped off to boarding school most of the time?
Most of the time, but not the whole time, because she said that this was the place that her and her daughter lived comfortably for a while. Did you catch that tonight? She said it
Yeah.
was always enough space for me and my daughter.
Hmm.
So I was like, where did she sleep? Because is it okay to share a bed with your child? Because I know y'all know I was a mama's boy. I slept in the bed with my mom till I was like 10. So I'm weird, but I'm pretty
Maybe
sure that was
maybe
not
the
okay though.
maybe the living room had like a pull-out couch or something.
Oh, so before she became an esthetician, maybe it was like a regular downstairs, maybe.
Maybe.
Or maybe it has like a den and she didn't show the den, and that's where
Well,
she let her sleep.
based on what we looked up, there's only 846 square feet. I'm pretty sure
Maybe
we
the daughter sleeps
saw.
in the closet.
I'm pretty sure we saw all 846 feet. Like honestly, I think my living room and kitchen are 800 feet. at least, maybe bigger. Like,
Braggart.
I don't even understand how that is even enough space. Like, I'm so confused by the whole thing. But when she said that, I was like, huh, how would you how would that work with a kid? Because children need their own space, they need a quiet place to do homework, they need, they need an area for themselves, they need to get dressed. A child doesn't need to be getting dressed in front of people, they need their own space. So I was just really confused.
No, it's a good question. I don't know the answer, but I think half the time she was going to Turkey to get like, plastic surgery, and then half the time the daughter was like on boarding school, living out a suitcase. So I feel like they're both like, abroad a lot.
Yeah, this is probably true. And she did say in her earlier season that the dad had taken over being a parent. She said something. I'm probably gonna say it wrong, but she was like, "I had her for a while, and her dad had her for a while," and she's like, "But I had her more, so it's time for him to step up." Basically, she was saying, "I'm sick of being a mom. Somebody else needs to raise this kid," is basically what she was trying to say. So like maybe the dad had her most of the time, and then the dad sent her to boarding school, and Shekinah's been like living her life, doing her own thing. And that's probably why she didn't have space for her, because she never had her in the first place. That could be too.
Like the part with the bidet, it kind of annoyed me because it felt like it was being crowbarred in based on that, like was it Muhammad that was all into that?
Yeah, Muhammad. Well, it was part of his religion where you have to use a bidet or you're considered not clean. And you couldn't pray if you didn't
Mhm.
use a bidet because you were considered dirty.
But I feel like they were just doing like the greatest hits of 90 Day Fiance by
Well, I don't remember Sarper saying anything about a bidet when they were in his apartment in Turkey. So yeah, it was definitely crowbarred in. Like if they would have showed, he would have been like, "This is the bidet. I have to have a bidet." And then when they got to her house, it wasn't there. But yeah, it was definitely crowbarred in. I didn't understand why it was a big deal because I don't ever remember him mentioning a bidet when they were in Turkey.
I think it was
it
the
was definitely like,
expectation because in Europe, every washroom has a bidet. So it
Oh,
is
so it was an ex.
expected.
Oh, so his apartment most definitely had it. He just thought,
Oh, yes.
oh, okay.
but I still feel it was like trumped up for the show, like made a
Well,
bigger deal.
yeah, I feel like, well, every bathroom in my house has a bidet. I
Mm.
don't believe, and when I have to use public bathrooms or bathrooms that don't have bidets or go to people's houses that don't have bidets, I feel like I need to go home and take a bath. Like I definitely think bidets are very necessary. So I'm with Sarper on that. Um, and oh man, I've been like that for over a decade. My last house all had bidets. Fun fact, I installed them all myself. I
Oh, look at
remember
you.
Muhammad couldn't figure it out. It was like impossible math for him. I've
Mm.
installed them all myself, and I didn't flood any of my house or anything. So I'm very proud that I can say that I did that all on my own.
Yeah, but so do you think like, because I know it was, Sarper said, he said the thing where he said like I forget what it was like the four things a man needs. He said like internet, fire, wheel, and bidet or something.
Yeah, yeah, the four main inventions that improve civilization, I think is what he said. Internet, I agree with internet. Based on when I was born, internet did improve lives. Fire, you know, that's how people cook. So yeah, that works. I don't know. For some people, bidets aren't a big deal because I've had this conversation with people a lot. Like they don't have to have them; they're not installed, and when they see them in like bathrooms or hotels, they don't use them. Some people are scared of them. I've
Hmm.
noticed because they're like, I don't want nothing shooting up me or like they're very scared of them. So I guess for some people, it's just not a thing. I'm definitely one of those people that prefer it.
True. Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering, like that line. I'm wondering if a writer at Sharp slid him that note and said, "Hey, this is a funny line about bidets. You should say this."
I don't know. Sarper can be funny at times. It might have been his line, like his "bitches of LA" line. He can be funny.
Yeah.
Um,
What did you think on the What did you think on the preview of the next episode where it was Supper and then I'm trying to remember, was he French, the guy he was arguing with?
I think he
Yes.
was, yeah, because Shekinah's ex-husband is French.
Hmm.
I don't remember if people remember that, but yeah. So, and this was a guy that was supposedly her best friend back in the earlier seasons, but he did tell us, I think not the last season they were on, but the season before, that he was in love with her and he wanted to be with her, but she wouldn't give him the time of day.
Mhm.
So it didn't surprise me that he picked his time to be on TV to challenge Sarper, for a woman that doesn't even want him. I wasn't surprised. But I don't understand why men do that. They're like, I'm a better match for you. And I'm like, well, if a woman doesn't want you, she just doesn't want you. Like you can't make a woman, the statement, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. The woman can be right in front of you. If she's not thirsty for you, you're not going to get any. Period. End of discussion. You can save your breath, save your efforts, or whatever. So I was hoping that Sarper punched him in the face, but it kind of looked like he just got up and walked away.
Yeah, to me that seemed like it just came across like a forced fight for the sake of television.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think that.
same.
Yeah, I don't think that he's actually trying to get with Shekinah. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I think they're because again, like Shekinah, it's not their first season or their first rodeo on TV as far as 90 Day Fiance.
He
So
did bring up on the last time we saw him on the show that he wanted to be with her, and she kind of laughed it off, if y'all remember, because
Mhm.
he was like, "I'm a better pick. I would take good care of her." But women famously don't want to be with the guy that's gonna take care of them the best. They want to be with the bad boy who's gonna say something mean every now and then. So his fault, learn how to be that guy, and then she'll want you.
Mhm. Um, yeah, no, I was just saying though, like, so it's not Shekinah's first rodeo, so she knows what drama works on the show. So obviously, I think he was egged on to kind of be a dick to Sarper because it would make for good television.
Oh yeah. Shekinah's been on TV before. So yeah, she knows what she's doing. She knows what she needs to bring to the table if she wants to make this a full-on career like the other cast members. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, so this is going back to Greg or whatever, but like, so what's the average? I mean, it's something I could Google, but what's the average like wedding dress price?
Oh, that's a different type of question because I've heard people say that they went to some place called David's Bridal and
Uh,
got really nice dresses for $500 or less.
hmm.
So I guess it depends on the person. Wedding dress prices.
Yeah, it depends on where you go buy it. If you're going to Kleinfeld's or whatever in New York, that or if it's a designer label, it can cost a nice pretty penny. But yeah, my friend bought her wedding dress for her wedding in Vegas, and I think that was like $800 at David's Bridal.
Yeah, that's the place that people tell me that you can get like insanely nice. Obviously, it's not going to be an Alexander McQueen, but you can get really nice dresses that will look amazing in your wedding photos for like okay, so it says the average cost of a wedding dress in 2025 in the United States, brides are typically spending 1,500 to 3,000. High-end gowns start at 5,000 and go up to 50 to 100,000. And then high-end would be like Gucci, Versace, Alexander McQueen. Those are just the dresses that famous rich people wear, or wives of movie producers. Normal women, I know a woman that got married and bought a dress at David's Bridal, spent three or $400, and looked, still to this day, she posts her wedding pictures and everybody's attacking her, asking her what designer it is, and it's just David's Bridal.
Is David's Bridal
It's just David's Bridal.
but is it the equivalent of like Burlington Coat Factory for like suits or Men's Warehouse or something?
Basically like a men's warehouse, but for dresses. Like
Hmm.
it's not, you're not wearing thrift store, but it's just you're basically getting the luxury without the name. It's the TJ Maxx. Well, no, that's a lie because TJ Maxx actually uses the name, like Burlington. Like, yeah, you're getting what a high end designer could make, but it has no name attached to it.
True. Did you see the meme I did where I was like, what did I say? I said Joan is going to be walking around in a $50 breaded wedding dress, and then I posted a.
I could not stop with that.
Yeah, what's funny? It reminded me of, y'all remember Robert and Annie? He took Annie to the Goodwill when she got here to go clothing shopping, and I was like, Greg is gonna take her to the Goodwill to get a wedding dress. I feel like that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, and then thank you to the official. I know like I know the other week, I don't know if it was last week, the official 90 Day Fiance account shared one of your tweets, George. But then I want to say thank you, the official 90 Day Fiance Instagram account, for sharing that threaded meme tweet on their Instagram. of mine.
Wait, really? I didn't see it yet.
I
Okay.
sent it in. I don't know if I texted it, but
I haven't been I haven't been online.
okay.
Or
But
I
anyway, yeah, I
haven't
posted on my stories. But so yeah, thank you, official 90 Day Fiance Instagram account for sharing my tweet because it's been like a long drought where y'all haven't shared my content. So thank you for finally sharing my content again.
Yeah, they haven't shared mine in a while either. Last week was a surprise. I didn't know. I
Mhm.
got like a million text messages. And then my bestie called and was like, "Did you see the answer?" And I was like, "No."
Oh,
And
I
then
didn't, I
I saw
mean,
it.
I know it's like a cool thing, but I didn't realize it was a thing where it would result in a million text messages and your bestie hitting you up.
Well, every time like something happens where my name pops up in weird places, like I'll get a text. Like for instance, I don't want to get too into this, but someone was talking to a very high name person in Sharp, and the high up person in Sharp, there's probably no one higher than this person, brought up my name. They
Hmm.
didn't bring it up. My friend didn't, or no one. They brought up my name, and then someone was like, "Yeah, they were talking about you by name," and I was like, "What? Stop!" That's like it's really weird. So, it's flattering, when people are speaking of you in rooms that you are not present in. It's very flattering.
Was that like recently or?
Yeah, very very recently, within the last week or so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
We gotta get Mr. Matt to listen to our Chitty interview.
yeah, that would be great. That would be great, Mr. Sharp himself.
You damn straight. You never know. He could be in here. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I've heard a lot of different things about.
you never know. Pineapple Girl could be Matt Sharp. Who knows?
Well, this is true. It could be. You never know who's who.
Actually, I don't think that's true, but it could be anyone, yeah.
So the throuple made rules tonight.
Hmm.
Because Amani, who was the one who wanted a throuple in the first place, got upset that they had sex without her. So I don't understand the throuple rules in general. I've never been in one, but I'm pretty sure when all of you are dating each other, because she wanted them to ask her permission before they hooked up. And I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure if y'all are all dating each other, you're all like in a relationship. You don't need, like, if you were in a relationship, Shabooty, and or say you had a girlfriend, you wouldn't ask her to hook up with her. It would just be consensual between the two of you. So I'm just wondering, is it different for a throuple? Like, because I don't understand, if you are okay with sharing each other, then why would it bother you when they're intimate? Because that's what you're okay with anyway, right?
Yeah, well, I think Amini, she still has that. She still has the same ego as if she wasn't in the throuple. So she still has like the kind of like the world revolves around me. Kind of like I'm the most important thing. I'm the center of your universe, Matt. So you're gonna have to get my permission to tell me. So even though they're in a throuple, she still has the same ego of like a one-on-one relationship.
Oh, well, that's funny because it seems like Matt, if you've watched their scenes, he's hanging on her and kissing her and everything. The Annie chick, not his wife.
Mhm.
I don't know if you watched the Seek and Sister Wife, the Davis family. It was the guy who wouldn't work. He would just read books at home, and then the women would go out and work. He had one wife that he was completely obsessed with, and he was always hanging on her whenever they were doing interviews. He was sitting next to her. He always had his arm around her. He always was kissing on her. The other two were just there. That's the way I get the vibe with Matt and Annie. It seems like Matt is way more into Annie than he's into his wife. And I
Oh, I
think,
mean, of course, because it's like that's like new. I hate I don't want to be too I don't want to be too what's the word? I don't want to say, rude things, but that's like new poontang, basically.
well, it's the new car smell, right?
Yeah.
When you get into a new car, the first thing that gets you is that new car smell. So when he's going down there and he's smelling that new poo-tang smell, it's just a
Mhm.
turn on for a guy. Like when you get your brand new project car or your RC car, your drone, whatever guys are playing with nowadays, that's just what excites them.
Mhm.
And it's weird because a lot of people are like, well, his wife is hot. But it's like, from what we heard from the au pair, She's kind of mean. So it might be one of those situations like with Gino and Jasmine, like, yeah, she's hot, but I still don't want to be around her.
Well, there's a saying, and it goes along the lines of like, no matter how hot a chick is, there's some guy that's with her that's bored, that's bored of fucking her.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true. That's 100% true. There's a guy that's sick of looking in her face. And for the people on the outside looking in, they can't really understand it. But yeah, you're right. The hottest chick in the world, there's a guy who's willing to cheat on her. And that's just kind of how it works. And I think that with him being with her for like over 10 years, being able to go from seeing a girl at a strip club that he gets to watch, and then now he gets to bring her home and play with her. I think that he's just obsessed with his new toy.
It's like a toddler with like the new like it's like a toddler opening Christmas presents. They'll open one and then play with it for a little bit, and then they'll go to the next and the next.
By the way, yeah, and then real quick, like, so there was a thing I posted where I basically, based on my post, now everybody in the world should know that they filmed even though we talked about it in one of our podcasts, but yeah, so they filmed the 90-day season 11 tell-all this past weekend in New York City. And then I think Amini or Mani, she posted a picture of all their luggage, and she was like, this is how much luggage you'll, this is like luggage for 3 people. So I guess that means Annie was there in person as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so are they still messing around with him? That's interesting because I thought I heard that she was back in Mexico. But you know what? It's probably easier for her to travel here for the tell-all than like if it was a different country because we're pretty, I don't want to say we're friendly with Mexico, but you can travel here easier than it is from other countries.
Yeah. So, I mean, based on that photo, it seems like she's here, whether they're intimate still or not, or what to get that.
Well, I'll say this. Matt and Amani were at a after party for my bestie's birthday that she actually didn't attend, but Annie wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I know of another event that they were at in San Diego recently, and it was just the two of them. Annie wasn't there. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Yeah, I think it was just for the tell-all they brought her in.
yeah, I think they brought her in for dramatic effect. So she wasn't on the screen. They brought her in. I don't think that they're actually still doing that throuple stuff.
Yeah, and so I think that photo was kind of a false flag in terms of like them being together.
No, yeah, exactly.
And okay, and then just I don't know how much I should spill or whatever, but here's a little tea. So anyway, don't ask me too many questions, but I'll hint lightly on the tea. I heard from a birdie that during the tell-all, and again, this is not something I've even posted on social media or Instagram or anything. So this is a world exclusive, but I heard like, and it's not that big of a shock in terms of like you would expect it to happen, but still no one has actually reported on it. So I heard Amini and like Shekinah had a huge blow up on the tell-all, and they had a huge fight, and they went at each other like crazy.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to understand why. Like, why? What is the?
I don't know the parameters of the fight, but then I heard like I did hear something along the lines of there was another cast member that went to the support of Shekinah and then kind of stabbed Amini in the back or something.
Oh,
So anyway, so the T is expect a huge fight with Shekinah and Amani on the tell-all.
okay. I mean, I'm down. I'm down. I'm not a fan of either, so I'm down. I'll watch them duke it out.
But Amani's been fighting with everybody, so that's expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has definitely a chip on her shoulder with everything. I've noticed she's always starting. I don't want to say starting stuff. She's always poking her nose in stuff and starting problems. I've noticed.
So she started. I remember when she started shit with Sophie on social media.
Yeah, and that was like one episode in. She was already ready to start fighting people. So yeah, I definitely think that she's
coming in hot.
Got a chip on her. Yeah, she's coming in hot, and I think that she wants to be famous really bad, and I think she's trying to insert herself in every situation that will get her name out there. So I would say that she probably went in there and picked a fight with her just because she wanted more attention at the tell-all. I can't prove that. But I just feel like there probably wasn't even a real issue. She just wanted more attention. Kind of like Natalie. Whenever she noticed that people aren't filming her, she starts yelling at somebody, so they'll start filming at her. I feel like that's probably what it was.
Yeah, I know. I think Amani likes the touch of fame because uh I heard when she was, well, you know how they do like press and stuff in Los Angeles. So then they get to hang out with the Warner Brothers publicist, and then the Warner Brother publicist takes them to now I'm having a brain fart. What's that like fancy club that like Coco said she's been to? The one where it's like a members club for entertainment industry, a Soho House.
Oh yeah.
So Amani likes a taste of fame where so apparently she gets to go to Los Angeles for do press junkets, and then the Warner Brother publicist takes her out to the Soho House in Los Angeles, which is like the most happening place you could be. Even yours truly has never been there. But so like that's an exciting scene to be a part of.
Yeah. I think that fame is very, very important to her, and I think that she's taken lots of steps to get here. I think that she's definitely calculating the best way to make sure that this calculates into fame for her. I think Shekinah did it too, right? Shekinah did a bunch of TV shows, and that's her path. That's what she wanted. Some people, Darcy and Stacey too, like some people have that's been the goal, and they've been working towards that goal for a long time. And I think Amani wanted to be on TV. And I think that they talked a stripper into going on TV with them because that's how bad they wanted to do it.
Mhm. Yeah, they probably threw a few bucks, right?
Oh yeah, they gave her a little bit of money because she was working for much less. I think what one of the reviews said for $200 you could take them up to a room. So she was used to a lot less. So maybe they offer her a few $1,000s, and she thought that was insane. So she did the show with them, and now they get to be famous.
Mhm. Is there anyone we haven't talked about?
We talked about that.
Let me check my live tweets because a lot of times I like to touch on what my live tweets.
Well, we didn't talk about Sean and Aaliyah.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Burger King guy.
Yeah, so
What's funny is I was gonna make a meme or a post or a tweet about it. I was gonna do a meme where I was gonna say, isn't it ironic that the Burger King's slogan is "Have it your way," but then he's upset that Aaliyah is now a woman.
oh, that's actually not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's a
He
pretty
is pissed. He said a bunch of times, he was like, I didn't sign up to be with a woman. He said a bunch of times tonight that, he doesn't know if he can even be with a woman. So I don't even know why she's here. Because it's like, it's not like she just showed up here on a jet plane to see you. You went through a lot of work to get her here. So I'm like, if you don't even know if you like women, why did you bring a woman to move into your house?
Yeah, what did you think of Aaliyah's germ phobia?
Oh, I'm a germaphobe. So I fully understand it. And we found out tonight she's a nurse, which changed a lot for me. I thought that she was a gold digger. Turns out
Well,
that she's a nurse.
that's weird though. Like if I was in the hospital, I wouldn't want my nurse to be a germaphobe. I would want them to not be afraid of germs and cleaning up shit.
Well,
True.
a germaphobe is a cleaner because I'm a germaphobe. I am like, I don't
No, but
like,
I mean, okay, if she's your nurse and then you puke or something or shit your pants, like she's gonna be like, "Ew, gross! I'm gonna get another nurse to clean this up."
yeah, okay, I understand that.
Mm.
I don't know. I think that because I do clean, but I am a germaphobe, but I do wear like gloves and protective gear when I clean because I am a germaphobe. So yeah.
Yeah, but you want a nurse that like isn't afraid to get in there and do whatever's required.
Yeah, but sanitarily, like I don't want them to just be doing stuff with their bare hands. They still need to like be smart about it and wear gloves and shit. But yeah.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about even if she's a germaphobe? What do you think about her refusing to ever pick up the dog poop?
Oh, I don't pick up dog poop either. So I mean, I think that's outrageous, but I don't do it either. That's why I don't have a dog. I have a cat. Like I don't do it. I think it's
Okay, so let's say you're with a chick with a dog, and then the dog shits in the park, and then like 75% of the time she cleans it, but then she's like, all right, can you like this one time, can you just
Then no, she's gonna clean it 100% of the time.
what if it's a fight? Because she'll be like, come on, just one time, can you pick up
Then we can break up. I'm not picking up no dog shit. Like then we can break up. Like I don't have a dog. And
Mhm.
you know how when some people get married, they inherit those people's kids. I
Mhm.
don't inherit dogs. If you
What
have a dog
okay,
and
George?
if you have a dog and we get married, you still have a dog. I don't have a dog.
Mhm.
I'm not doing it. It's just gross. Like that's why I know that women are special because a woman can give birth to a child and clean it up and like change the diaper and wipe its butt and no, like I'm not that loving of a creature. Like I don't even want to be a part of that. That's why I respect the hell out of women because they really do love other creatures. I don't.
That's interesting. Yeah,
I
oh,
love dogs though. I just don't want one.
true.
If that makes sense. Like I love animals. Like I'm a huge when I was in my old job, I used to have a charity where we helped pay for conservation and taking care of animals. And the one of the biggest animals we supported was giraffes.
Mhm.
And we paid to have like habitats built and to make sure they couldn't be hunted. Like I love animals, but I also don't want to clean up after them.
That's probably, yeah, you like cats because they're all in the litter box, right?
Yeah, she's in the litter box. She cleans herself, and then whenever she needs a bath, um, I take her to get one. I don't do it, but and she's super clean.
Hmm. True. And then I hate to keep like jumping around. What did you think of Greg saying he wants 10 kids?
That was funny for me because he ain't got no job. Because he's like, oh, I just want a bunch of kids, and I was like, what? Like, it's crazy to me how he has so many goals, dreams, and aspirations, but has zero follow through on anything. Like, because he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have all these kids, I'm gonna run a bakery, I'm gonna do all this stuff, and then when it comes to like an action plan, there isn't one. Because I was like, well, what would you do if you had a bunch of kids and you be turning down jobs? You're just like, oh, I don't want to work that job. It doesn't seem fun. I didn't know jobs were supposed to be fun. That's something that I grew up not knowing. Because a lot of times I talk to people and they're like, oh, I didn't want to do that job because, it doesn't seem like something I would enjoy. And I was like, damn, so all those jobs I did all these years that I didn't enjoy, I should have been enjoying them. I didn't even know.
Yeah, you don't have to say if it's like a private thing, but you work like a full-time job, right? Like 40 plus hours
Yeah, yeah,
outside of 90 Day Fiance.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Same with me. So yeah, we're both yeah, so we're both we're doing balancing multiple things at once, let's just say.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I have a job that I like now, but I didn't always. I didn't always.
True. Yeah. So yeah, we're unlike Greg, we're not adverse to working our butts off.
I mean, I took jobs that I absolutely hated because I liked money. And
Mhm.
I also liked not living with my mom. I didn't like I like there were certain things in life that I didn't want. It was homelessness, poverty, being a loser. Like there were certain things in life that I just couldn't
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
And Greg seems to not have those issues. He's like, I'll be homeless, I'll be in poverty, I'll be broke, I'll do anything as long as I don't gotta punch nobody's clock. I worked at Taco Bell before. Like, guys, I've done whatever I needed to do because money was my goal. Did I like it? No. Was it fun? No. Did I wish that I didn't do it? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, my rent got paid when I was younger. I ain't never missed a rent payment when I was younger. And then when I got older, I bought a house. Like, you have to set goals. And then in the process of getting to those goals, you're going to do like 90% of shit you hate. But your goal is what you're working towards. And the reason why Greg has never accomplished anything in his life because he thinks he's supposed to like everything that he does. That's why the only thing he likes doing right now is eating. Because
Mhm.
he thinks everything that you do in life you're supposed to like. Life is like 85% of you doing things you don't like. That's literally what life is.
Do you ever, speaking of eating, do you ever order like Uber Eats or DoorDash?
I used to order it a lot, not so much anymore, but I used to.
Okay. No, yeah, like I feel like I don't do it like that, maybe like once a week or something, but that's to me, that's like, yeah, I go to work because I know if I would need to order DoorDash or Uber Eats, it's like not a big deal because you know what I mean, like I can afford it. But to me, that's like my luxury.
Well, yeah, they charge you double for everything. So yeah, it's a luxury. But I live in a pretty rural area, which is funny because I live by Disney, but like I live in a rural area. Like say for instance, like once you get into my community, like you get past the gate and everything, my community is like huge. And it's like there's no businesses or food or it's just houses and parks and lakes. So like it takes a while to get back into civilization. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, but I definitely don't want to go into civilization to get food. So I will order something. So yeah, but it's not like a normal everyday thing like Shekinah does. It's not an everyday thing.
hmm oh, Gina reminded me, this is like totally random and probably stupid, but has anyone watched like the Daredevil show on like it used to be on Netflix and then now it's on Disney Plus? It's like a Marvel show with the Daredevil.
Is it new?
So it's weird. It's like, oh, by the way, the funny part is there's a movie of it that Ben Affleck played Daredevil, but
I saw that.
it's the same concept, but it's different actors. This
Oh, okay.
show, but so it was on Netflix, and then it got canceled, and then since Disney owns the Marvel rights, it got revived onto Disney Plus. And then I know I'm being like super random. People are like, "Why are you bringing up some random ass 998 fiance shit?" And this is kind of dumb, but like, so then when it was on Netflix, I would always do this impersonation of like Kingpin, who's like I forget his name, Vincent D'Onofrio. He plays Kingpin. So I don't know if anyone in the chat, if y'all watch the show, let me know. But I could have sworn I did a really good like Kingpin impersonation. So
Oh,
you want me to give you like a little 10 seconds of Kingpin?
okay.
Okay, see, this is like it's if you don't watch the show, it's kind of this is gonna be weird. But
Oh, I don't, but I mean, you can do it anyway. There might be somebody in here who does, so it's not about me.
somebody listens is gonna get a kick out of it. Hopefully, I don't know, but it's not a very pleasant. His voice is not pleasant because he's like a villain. So I apologize if I'm about to do an impersonation of a villain. But let me just try to do like 5 seconds or 10 seconds of some of what's it called, Kingpin from Daredevil, now streaming on Disney Plus, but they're not a sponsor. Okay, ready?
Not yet. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right, this is gonna be stupid, and I'm probably gonna regret this. But anyway, here goes. Vanessa, how dare you not watch 90 Day Fiance with me?
Oh, that kind of sounded like something from The Godfather.
Yeah, so he has like a really deep, like ominous voice. But I would always do that impression and annoy the person I was with at the time. Vanessa, that was the name of his wife. So anyway, y'all got to watch the show now, just so the impersonation would be funnier.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it just to make sure that it was on point.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a clip, and then for a future episode, if people thought that was funny, I could actually try to work on some material on what he says. But anyways, I just had to get that off my chest. So any other topics?
I don't have any more. I think that was it so far. We didn't get one in Jessica this week, so nothing
How
on
much,
them.
how much energy do you have left in the tank?
Um, a little, a little. Why?
You want to talk to Lana?
Oh, Lana's here. Hey, Lana.
Oh,
You can ask her about Fresno and Lancaster.
Pineapple Girl said that should be the intro to tonight's podcast when I upload it. The
Oh,
the
the impersonation. Okay, I don't hate that. I liked it. Yeah, that. Yeah, do that. Do that.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let's get Lana if she wants to talk, and then we can end it because it is almost 1 a.m. Let's see. All right, Lana, I gave you co-hosting abilities, so let's see. If you want to speak, you can.
There we go.
True. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm
Good.
I'm good. Hey, Lana.
Hi, guys.
How you been?
I've been good. I've been pretty good.
You sound chipper.
You do.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of strange, but my son calls me and he's like, you know what, Mom? I want to buy this big house and It's got a mother-in-law house on the side of it, and I want you to come and live there. And you won't have to worry about paying all your bills by yourself. You won't have to worry about anything.
Wait, where does your son live? Is he local?
Yeah, he lives here.
How do you feel about that? Is that something you want to do?
I don't know. At first, when he told me, I was like, no, I want to stay in my house, you know. But then I thought, wow, you know. And then he starts sending me these houses of these beautiful mother-in-law quarters that you could enter on your own area. It's got your own yard, the whole works. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know. So he's got me thinking.
I mean,
He's not wrong. Do it, Lana.
Yeah, he's really got me thinking. And then I was thinking I could go ahead and maybe Airbnb my house and make some money.
yeah, I was gonna say that. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yes, and I can always come back home, you know.
Yeah, and
Keep my house and you know, and go live maybe a little more relaxing and easier for me.
Maybe
you know,
maybe you'll have some new Airbnb horror stories to share.
right? You never know. Oh yeah, you know I'm gonna really have them then. You know, oh, you know they're coming because I'll have cameras all around the outside. You know, I can't have any inside, but I'll damn sure have them all around the outside. So I'll see how many are coming in and out and who's coming in and out and all that, you know?
You haven't had any weird experiences at work, though, recently?
No, you know what? Nothing's been crazy except when I got there the other day, somebody had, I guess, couldn't get out of the parking lot and hit the fence, hit the pole, almost hit the wall of the damn unit.
Oh.
And I have no idea who did it because where the camera is spaced back there, it only shows the laundry room and where they park the cars. It doesn't show that side. So I have no idea which tenant even did it.
So they did a hit and run kind of?
They sure did. They hit and ran all right. They got their asses out of there real quick.
Oh, that does surprise me for some reason.
Yeah.
So how far?
But also another update is they did find that young man's body, the motorcycle guy.
Oh yeah, I remember you told us that story.
Yes, they did find him. Poor guy.
How long did it take?
A couple of days.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a couple of days because those ditches that we have here, all that water streams from the mountains, our mountain area. So all our snowpack and everything comes down here and it fills all those up. So the water's real cold and then there's like a current underneath. So once you're in there, you can't grab onto any sides because there isn't any sides.
Oh.
If you at some point, if you have a photo of I forget what was it called, where the water is?
The ditch.
Yeah, the ditch, whatever. If you sometime send us a photo of the ditch with the water.
I sure will. I'll send you the next time I go that way because I go that way all the time for work. So once I get to that corner, I'll take a picture and show you how the street is and how there's a ditch on both sides of the street.
I mean, how often does someone fall in there and drown?
Oh, it happens at least, I want to say maybe 5-6 times a year. And it's mostly transients, like homeless people.
Vagrants and shit?
Yes.
Oh,
because they make little camps behind the ditch banks. They make camps there. And so some of them get drunk, they get high or whatever, they fall in, you know, shit happens.
That's terrible. Terrible.
It's terrible. But I just can't believe that he just came right past my house and right past my corner. And then, you know, next thing you know, he's dead. I'm like, what is wrong with people? What the hell is wrong with people?
True. And then I know, Lana, I can't remember. I know we brought up on the show Lancaster, California, but I can't remember if we were talking to you or not.
Yes. Well, I mean, I did say in the chat that it's ghetto as hell.
Yeah, but we haven't talked to you though, right? About that?
No.
So how far
about it?
How far is Lancaster, California from you?
It's like 3.5 hours.
Okay, so it's like me from going to Miami. Okay,
yeah,
so
it's not really that far, but it's like the ghetto part before you get to LA and stuff. It's just matter of fact, let me tell you this. My brother had a girl that lived there. She lived in Lancaster. She was a ghetto ass bitch, and we always told him to leave her alone. Well, once he left her alone, he got with another girl here in town. That bitch drove from Lancaster to Fresno, found where they lived, and stabbed both of them, my brother and his girl, and then stole my brother's car.
Wait, the stab.
Oh
What?
my God.
Yes.
So wait,
Stole my brother's car and then went on a high-speed chase with the police.
wait. This was his
Yes.
girlfriend?
Yeah, that was my brother had 2 kids from her, 2 sons.
So she's in jail right now.
Oh no, she's in Lancaster.
What? They just let people back into Lancaster after they stab people?
Yeah, but this was years ago. So, whatever troubles that she got into or whatever, she's done,
So wait, because look, I'm not gonna say who these people are, but I have friends. They don't live in Lancaster anymore, but they were together. It was a guy and a girl, and they lived in Lancaster together. And one of them is was very, very famous before they died. And I thought Lancaster was nice because they would call me and stuff, and I would see their home, and it was really beautiful. It seemed like a nice area. So I'm really, really surprised that Lancaster is. And you know what's funny? There's a lot of times where you'll talk about a neighborhood, and then it recently became ghetto.
Exactly.
But you're telling me that Lancaster has always been ghetto. That's what's surprising to me.
Yeah, but you know what I think it is I think there's a ghetto part to Lancaster.
Mhm.
I think there's a ghetto part to it, almost like Fresno. Fresno, we have in Fresno, our ghetto part is what we call the west side of town.
And by the way, real quick, for the people that are listening, the reason we're even talking about Lancaster in the first place is because that's where Shekinah moved to.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to bring that up. Yeah,
So Shekinah lives over there with Crazy Elaine. That was my brother's girl's name, Elaine.
I was like, do I not know a 90-day fiance person?
Well,
I was about to say the same thing. I'm like, who's Elaine? Okay, it's the psycho.
well, and they
Yeah,
say it's
she
a
was
fancy
crazy,
ghetto.
and she still is crazy.
Yeah, but by the way, Amber Lee in the chat is like an expert. She says it's because people move from LA because they can't afford it, but it's still commutable.
Yeah, she's right.
So
she's right.
Okay.
Oh, and then just let me read their messages because they seem like an expert. They say the fancy ghetto, it looks nice, but it's full of crackheads and Lancaster trash.
Yes, she's one of them.
Oh my gosh.
She's one of those crackhead persons. She's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So what's really interesting, because we have that kind of here in Orlando, there's different parts of Orlando. So there's like the really nice part, and then there's like the really ghetto parts. Like I remember the first time, I didn't live here at the time, but I was here vacationing, and I took a wrong turn. And I don't remember where I ended up, but I was in, I think, North Orlando. And it just was like the roughest. I was so shocked because they sell it as this little wonderland of like magic and palm trees. And I took a wrong turn and I got lost.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember we stopped at the red light. There were like homeless people knocking on my window.
Yes.
And I was just like, what in the hell is going on right now?
Yeah, that's some scary shit. That happened to me going to Pomona, California. Made one wrong turn and oh my God, I was terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Pineapple. Yeah, Kissimmee is considered the ghetto now. Well, it depends on, no, I can't say that. It depends on what part of Kissimmee you're referring to.
Yeah, it depends on the part, for sure.
Kissimmee, Disney is basically in Kissimmee, so that part over there, super nice. That's where I'm over there. So, but depending on what part, like going away from like Orlando, going the other way, it gets kind of rough. Don't be wandering around at night over there,
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, Lana, you been to Orlando?
No, I've never been there, but I know exactly what he's talking about because a lot of the rappers and stuff like that, they're from Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them tell their stories and they tell us about the hoods they grew up in and stuff,
So by the way, Lana, did you watch tonight's episode?
I did. And I'll tell you guys right now, Amani, that girl does not want her. She just wants the husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see that too. And it kind of looks like the husband just wants her too.
I think so too.
Yeah, I noticed it.
Yes, I think so too. I don't think she wants her. I don't know. I just don't think she does. I think she wants him. Because if
Are
she
you
had
saying-
any respect for her, there's no way she would have let him sleep with her without at least shaking her and saying, hey, he wants to. Is it okay? You guys are supposed to be in a threesome here.
you're saying Annie mainly just wants Matt, or what?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean,
She
I don't
wants
know.
him.
I don't know if it's both ways. Like he only wants her and she only wants him. I don't
Right.
know how it's going, but it definitely seems like he's way more interested in her than his wife.
Yeah, exactly. And if you think about it, that girl that, Shabooty, you talked about it, that made that long post about them. You
Mhm.
figure he's probably sick and tired of her, his wife. So the other girl's excitement for him, she's new.
Yeah, I think Amani, the fact that he's like a stay-at-home dad and she's the breadwinner, I feel like that probably like turns Amani off in terms of like the sexual chemistry.
Whoa. Did you guys
That's
notice? Did you notice when she was arguing, like yelling at him, and he just kind of sat in the back and was eating his breakfast and didn't engage? That's the way that a person reacts to someone that's usually verbally abusive to them. Like
True.
you don't have it in you to
He's
keep
like a
fighting.
he's like a beaten man.
Yes, right? Because she was like yelling and she's like, you understand that, right? You know why I'm at. And he just sat there like she wasn't even talking. That's what someone who's so sick and tired of being beaten down does. He's just like, I'm just gonna let her get it out of her system because she'll get over it. And this is just what she does over and over. That's the reaction I got.
Yes.
Yeah, like Amani's kind of like the A-type personality, strong
Right.
personality, kind of a hard ass.
But now she's
Like
being
Shekinah.
pushed in the back corner like that she's the third wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like Shekinah. Shekinah, when Sarper got here, she straight up took his balls and tied him in a knot.
She did though. Yeah, she did.
Without a bidet.
Without a
Shame on
bidet.
her.
Do you feel like this was like her revenge because he was so controlling and made her feel the way that she did when she was in Turkey? Do you feel like she's enjoying it? Do you feel like she wanted to emasculate him a little bit?
You know what? Maybe so. Or maybe she's been like that all along, and that's why she was attracted to him.
Oh. There are women who like to get an alpha male and emasculate them.
Yes.
You're right. There are women who like to do that.
Yes, they do. They sure do.
So maybe she was like, he's a typical alpha male who doesn't respect women, who think his opinion is the only opinion that matters. She's like, I'm going to bring him here and treat him like shit and, destroy his ego. Like,
And
I'm
then
going
send
to.
him out on the streets when she's working, but yet he can't go to the beach. Oh, hell no. You're not going to the beach.
Yeah, that was weird.
Come on now.
Yeah, because he was like, would I be able to come out to the beach? And she's like, how about you just learn the neighborhood?
Yes.
Like, what?
Show how insecure
She
she's
wants to
feeling.
control him in her house and control him when he has to go outside and wait for her to be done.
Well, any alpha male knows if she's kicking you out of the house while she's working, that's your opportunity to go cheat on her.
Exactly.
Right? That's what he's going to be doing.
And that's why she said, no, you're not going to the beach.
Well, how would she know where he's at? She's injecting people's faces. How would she know?
Exactly. And another thing, if you think about it, why can't he be there? Why can't he be in the room with the door closed or whatever? I mean, what's really going on with those damn massages?
That's interesting because there is an upstairs that's fully hidden from the downstairs. So as long as he's not up there jumping up and down and screaming, nobody would even know he was there.
Exactly. And who would have business going up those stairs in the first place?
Well, I was wondering maybe that's where the only bathroom is.
No, she said there was one downstairs too.
Oh, so yeah, you're right. Because I was like, the only reason why they would have to go is if there's only one bathroom in the whole place.
Right.
But none of her clients should be up there ever, because that's not the business part of her home. So you're right. No. He could be up there, just tell him to be quiet. And
exactly.
Nobody would know.
Or is she afraid he's going to peek and see what she's really doing? Maybe those little things are a little bit more sexual than she's admitting to.
Maybe it ends with a happy ending.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe she thinks that he'll flirt with the clients.
True.
Like he'll come down there and be like, "Hi, ladies," or come down there with no shirt on and try to flirt with the clients. She definitely doesn't trust him, right? He says he's been thousands of people. Like maybe she's one of those women who thinks everybody wants her man. So she has
Yes,
to hide him so everybody doesn't want him. And it's basically delusion. But a
it's
lot of
all delusion.
these women are like, well, I have to hide him or I can't bring him around my friends. Everybody will want him. And maybe she needs to hide him so she thinks no one wants him.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny that she's making all this money all of a sudden to buy a house. You know, I mean, come on, you're making all that money from taking care of clients in your living room?
Well, she got a fat check from the show. Several fat checks from the show.
That's true. Now, did he get a check too, George? Does he get one too?
Yeah, he gets one too. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
double.
Oh, okay.
It's double. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, so they can buy a house. Okay.
Yeah, they're getting double the checks. Sophie got a check. Rob got a check. Everyone back in the early seasons, they wouldn't pay the foreigner, but they would pay the cast member double, and the cast member was supposed to divvy up the money for the foreigner.
Oh,
but
yeah, that
the
makes
cast
sense.
members that broke up with the foreigner decided to handle the money and keep it themselves, so they had to change it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, on the housewives shows, they don't pay the men.
Really? They don't pay the husbands?
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Because
they do not. And the husbands have a lot of damn scenes and they don't get paid.
I would have to get a lawyer because that doesn't seem fair.
When I first heard it, I was like, you got to be damn kidding me. The husbands don't get paid for their appearances. Are you kidding me?
Sure. By the way, it's getting pretty late. Before we end it, though, I do just want to say George and I recorded an hour-long podcast yesterday, but it's available on our Patreon, and you could also get it on Apple Podcasts as like a premium episode. So if you want even more podcasting that we did record, we did an additional hour yesterday that continued our Friday show, which we ran out of time. So definitely consider subscribing to our Patreon or going on Apple Podcasts and subscribing to get that extra content.
Oh, I got to go to Apple. I got to hear that. Because we did get to talk to Chitty, so we didn't have time for the other stuff.
Yeah, the other stuff we didn't get to, George and I did get to, but it's a special 90-day Fiancé Saturdays episode.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, it was a good episode too. So if you want to hear it, it's on our Patreon and Apple subscriptions.
Got it.
For sure, yeah. So check that out. Yeah, it's like 1:11 a.m. Eastern, so we should probably end it.
Well, nice talking to everybody.
Yeah,
you too.
Nice talking to everybody as well.
Lana, let us know what your decision is if you're going to be moving.
I sure will. I'll let you know. I'm going to really think about it.
Sure, yeah. Thank you, Pineapple Girl, who says, I'm biased, but it was a great episode. I think she's talking about the Saturday episode, so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got to hear it now.
Yeah, it was good. Oh, and she said, I thought the foreigner was only paid on the other way. That was the first time that they started paying them, but now everyone's paid.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's only fair.
Yeah, everyone is paid. They now have licenses to pay people in other countries. In the beginning, they didn't have that. You know how when you can only employ people in certain places based on where you're based on. Now they have the paperwork. They can employ people in different countries. So now they're paying everyone correctly.
Sure.
Oh, good.
Hopefully, Lauren's girl got hazard pay.
Right?
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully Matilda got some money because, I mean, she's waiting on him forever.
Well, but he has GoFundMe money now.
Yeah, he's got GoFundMe
sure
money
does.
now. So
He
she'll be
sure
here.
does.
She'll be here in no time.
I hope we get to see him again.
Real quick though, now that you reminded me, before we end it, the last thing I'll say is like, I know what's his name again? The guy with Matilda.
Niles?
Oh, Niles.
Niles. Did you see he did like a thank you video, but then he added the cheesy ass soundtrack of like that, like that cheesy music, like the thankful music sounding shit?
Oh my God. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he had this like cheesy soundtrack of like, like soapy music. And then I couldn't even like get through it because he added this like annoying ass soundtrack. So I couldn't even watch it.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. I have to go watch it. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Did he take the GoFundMe down or is it still up?
I haven't checked recently, but I just know
I have to go look.
I'll check after. I'll report back.
Yes, let us know.
I will.
Like the most cliche, like the kind of music you would put, like music bed, you'd put under like a Make-A-Wish video, like a Make-A-Wish Kids video.
Oh, like an
wow.
SPCA, like
Oh,
Red Cross.
Yeah, or
you're
like the
talking about the Sarah McLachlan, the Save the Animals commercial,
Yes,
right?
that song is so
that kind of
sad.
music.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, it
In
was.
the arms of an angel. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was literally that, but yeah, that theme. Yeah,
Well, it basically makes you feel horrible and it's a sad situation type music.
yeah. It wasn't. I don't know.
Yes.
It was sad. It was just annoying.
Okay, so their GoFundMe, sorry to interrupt, it is still running and they're at
Wow.
$16,886.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, Niall's got money now. He's doing good. He only needed like 8,000 to get her here. So they're double it.
Wow.
He can get him a nice little used Toyota Camry too.
He sure can.
Yeah.
Mhm. And yeah, now that we're on Zoom Pro. So yeah, that's why y'all should join our Patreon. Anyway, should we end it, George?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
gonna end it here, guys.
True. Yeah. Oh, and then Lana, though, do you like the move to Zoom?
I do. I just have to get used to it again. Because usually when we have our meetings on Zoom, I don't really talk. I just listen and drink my coffee. But with you guys, I want to interact with everything, but I got to learn it all. Like when you first said I could talk, I didn't know how to unmute myself to talk, but now I do.
True. All right.
I
Well,
got it, but I love it. I got it. I'll be in there.
yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. We should end it at this point. Thank you, everyone, for listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on
Sunday.
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 Peace out, everyone.
Peace out, everybody.
Night.
Night.